As agreed, let's go through the series being watched method once again so that everybody can be on track. Our main aim is to get the series that the user has started watching so that we can maybe tell the user, these are the recently started series that you've been engaged into, it's been updated, you can watch it right now, or something like that. Okay, we've saved this series in the database, which is the Redis database, with such keys. Okay, so user 1 series 1, which means the user is enrolled into series 1. Same thing if we were series 2, and same thing for series 3. So we have such keys in our database. How do we get them from our database so that we can fetch out these IDs and know that the user is now watching this series? We use our Redis keys command, and the Redis keys command can take in a pattern and then would find keys that match this pattern. So in this case, we are getting the keys that match the pattern with this asterisk. Okay, and it means get a key, whatever key that has user, and it has the ID of the user, and then it has series, and then it has whatever number at the end. Get all of those keys. So in the case where we had all of these keys saved in the database, this is what is going to be returned to us as an array. We actually don't want these keys, right? What we want is this last digit at the end, which represents the series ID. So what we do is we create a new array, which is called series ID, and then we loop through all of those keys that we got from our database. We explode them using the column, and explode is a PHP method, and then we get the last element of that array, which is the ID of the series. Then we simply push it to this array. Okay, now finally we need a collection of series, so we create a new collection, we map over that collection, and simply return a series that we find from the database using that ID. So now when we're talking about refactoring, what we could do is actually make this method clear and more useful. So we'll create another method that I'm going to call series being watched IDs, and this is actually going to get the IDs for us. So we'll remove out these comments, and this part which returns to us the IDs, I'm going to cut it out and paste it right here. So we get the keys, create a new array, save all of those keys in there, and then we can just return series IDs right here. Okay, so we have series IDs, we return them. So this is an array of all the IDs of the series that this user has been engaged into. Then right here, what we can do is collect this series being watched IDs by calling that method. And if we want to make our refactor clearer or shorter, what we can do is actually remove the need for this variable and return right here, and we'll just chain the map function to this method like that. Okay, so collect all of the IDs and then map through them and get the series. And like we've said, when we refactor or change our code, we run our test to make sure that everything works correctly. So I'll head over to my user test, and I'll copy the name of that test, and I'll run it php unit filter to this test, and great, it still passes, so it means we're good to go.